Welcome back to Tip TV Finance's CEO interview time, and today it is the turn of Chris Gilbert, who is CEO at Fox Marble. Chris, how are you today?
Sam, good morning. Very well, thank you.
Right. I must be, well, compared to some people, at least an expert on your company. I remember listening to a presentation a couple of years back, and for some strange reason, it stuck in my mind. Kosovo, marble mining, and the whole Eurozone, and political stability, and all these sorts of things. But
why wouldn't it? Yeah.
let's see whether things have progressed over the last couple of years. You've just announced your interim results. Could you run us through that?
Yes, we've announced our interims for the half year, which are broadly in line with market expectations. We flagged, where we were very early on in the year. We have made a greater loss than we did for the similar period last year, and some of it is due to a negative hit that we took with respect to currency fluctuations. So of the 1.4 million loss that we posted, just about 300,000 euros, euros of that is reflected by the adverse movement of the pound against the euro, largely as a result of Brexit, I suppose. So
right. And I noticed that you got looks like a decent order book, 4.1 million euros. How relevant is that at the moment?
Well, it's extremely relevant. Our job now is to convert that order book into sales. So our sales for the first half of this year have been disappointing again, as we announced in our results. It's double what it was in the same period last year, but from a very low base, so it's nothing to write home about. However, what we are doing is we are winning more business, and we're winning significant business. So one of the things we announced a few weeks ago is the fact that we won an order to supply marble to McAlpines, who are building Lillie Square, which is the Earl's Court development, which I think is the largest residential development.
I've seen it.
I
know it well. I can only dream of even owning a door there.
I think we can all only dream of owning a door in that place. But phase one has been completed, and I'm told has been all sold, which is great for them. And we are supplying the marble from our newest quarry, which is called Illyric White, which we have a great deal of faith in, to the 10 penthouses that are being completed by the end of this month, I believe. So
well, that's the thing. I mean, you would have thought intuitively that a company like yours, especially with the boom in the luxury end everywhere, not only in the UK, but I think there's the luxury end of real estate is booming everywhere, that you would be in the box seat. But the overriding sentiment amongst in the market seems to be, why are we waiting? What are we waiting for here?
I think that's right. I think people are frustrated with us, and they're frustrated with us for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I set out a timeline when we first started doing this project that was inaccurate, it was naive, and it was optimistic. And I think we're suffering, sadly our shareholders are suffering from that frustration. It is taking time. It took longer to develop the quarries than we said it would. It's taken longer to get into the marketplace because we're producing and providing new stone, which people have to understand, absorb the meanings of, and so on and so forth. Against that, what we are seeing now is we're seeing significant wins because of the quality of the stone, because of the character of the stone, and some of it is very scarce. We own a quarry in Macedonia which contains white civet. It's only one of 2 quarries in the world that has this white marble, and white marble is always the go-to sort of desirable commodity that people want. So we're benefiting from that as people start to interface with us. We've got a better developed marketing, sales and distribution platform. We're making inroads in other parts of the world, and the wins that we're announcing as we go along, I think, are encouraging people to understand the fact that our original premise hasn't changed. It has just taken longer. And the other thing that people, I think, are frustrated with is the progress of our factory.
Right. So the factory, how long is that? When is that due to come on tap?
Well, we're now finally, I think, on the sort of final stretch. The 3 big components in the factory are the gang saws, which chop the blocks up into slabs, the resin line, which resins it, does what it says, and the polishing line, again, which does what it says it does. It polishes the slabs into the finish that our customers want. The gang saws are installed and are being commissioned as we speak. The cranes are in. The resin line, I think, is most of it has been delivered. There's a little bit left in Italy to come. And the polishing line, I think, is, as we speak, sitting in customs on the Kosovan something border I guess that would be the, I don't know which border it is, but anyway, the Albanian border, I think, because it came in via Duras. So once all of these 3 components are in the factory, which they'll be in within a matter of days, it's a question of installing them and commissioning them, and we have a team of Italian engineers in the factory as we speak, helping us do that. So very shortly, before the end of the year, this factory will be up and running, and everyone, I think, will be very pleased.
And the beauty of that is that you get a better margin on your resort, on your commodity, let's say.
We do. We get a better margin on the product as we move from block to cut and polished slabs and even cut to size, sort of, fixed tiles. In addition to that, it improves the yield in the quarry, because we would process material in our own factory, which is literally just down the road from our quarries, that you wouldn't transship to a third-party processor. It wouldn't be economically viable. And the yield in our quarry goes up, and again, that improves our margins.
Right, so it would have been fair to say in 2012 that this company's a 5-year view. That's what you should be looking at.
Shouldn't have been a 3-year view.
I mean, that's, let's say, the original thing.
Yeah.
But building on the, let's say, the dirty work that other people have had to do, and the waiting game that other people have had to play, going to the fourth quarter of 2016, is it fair to say that now, the heavy lifting has been done, and things should start to progress in a relatively prompt fashion?
Most of the heavy lifting has been done. I think that's exactly right. I think that's the right description for where we are right now. And I mean, like every CEO in the world, I think my share price doesn't reflect the value of our company, but we have to, we have to demonstrate that as our order book is converted into sales and people start to see the revenue coming into the company.
Right, and the order book, just in terms of your customers, Lily Square is one thing, but
yes.
Is it all over the world? Is it China? Is it India? Is it how does that work?
It isn't China. It's Italy. It's the UK a lot. It's Greece, actually, oddly enough, where they like civet a lot, because they've been the purveyors and the marketeers of civet, because it used to be all Greek owned. So we've got a big order there. And we are making, I think, very good inroads into places like India, the Far East, and even in Australia, where we're now actually just about to start shipping some material to Sydney.
Right, and the funding is out of the way. That tends to be we've had a recent funding, so that tends to be a little question mark that somebody thinking of entering the arena might pause on.
I agree. We were very fortunate. We were very well supported by our existing shareholders, who are very supportive and to whom we're very grateful. And we raised the money, at close to market, so we weren't hit on that side. And as we said at the time, it was to finish the factory, replace some of the equipment, and put some more boots on the ground from the sales side.
Well, hopefully, when the factory's finished, there'll be like a ribbon event, and we open it, and everything will be hunky dory from them. But Chris Gilbert, CEO at Fox Marble, thank you very much for coming in today, talking to Tip TV.
Zach, thank you.
We'll be back after the break.